Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Fugitive Predator NECA Ultimate Action Figure from the Predator. Here's a look at the inside of the packaging, just so you can see how it is packaged in there. There's a little photo on the inside. And here's just the basic layout of the figure and the accessories. So, fun fact about me is my favorite movie monster of all time is the original Predator. In fact, my favorite just alien species, movie monster, creature is the Predator species. So, even though at the time of this release I have not yet seen the Predator film, the film has not yet come out, I am still super excited to have one, a new Predator design, and two, to have new Predator figures from NECA, because NECA has a good history with Predator figures. They've made plenty of them, and I love them. This design, when it was first kind of released in photos and stuff, at first was met with me kind of going, but I very quickly warmed to it. I think it's got an interesting design, a lot of interesting armor on the back of this figure and the front of this figure, the way it all pieces together. A lot of silver and gold, which I dig. The sort of, I mean, he's already got the netting. You can see it on his stomach and legs, but this sort of meshy kind of Under Armour looks really, really cool. Interesting thing about this figure is a lot of it is rubbery, like his little outer butt flap here. Looks solid, metallic, and plasticky, but it's rubbery. Also his meshy underpants, rubbery. Front little codpiece, which is part of it, also rubbery. The arms are solid plastic, but the chest, not just this little dingly-dangly here, but this main section too has a good squish to it because it's all made of rubber material. Also his thigh pieces are soft, kind of squishy rubber. The rest of the figure is all solid plastic. Let's talk articulation really quick. We've got ball jointed ankles, we've got the double knee joint, the bottom joint is just a hinge, the top joint is like a ball hinge at the legs. There is no mid thigh cut, so that surprised me, but this ball joint where the waist meets the bottom of the torso, and then the mid torso is also a ball joint. Ball hinge shoulders, double elbow joint with this little thing swizzles. I like to say swizzle instead of swivel because it just makes me laugh. But and then this top one also rotates as like a ball hinge. We got the hinged rotating wrists and ball joint at the base of the neck. The arms you can replace with secondary arms. We'll get to that in a moment, but I just want you guys to see all the really, really good details in the armor here. Again, that little texture there, that netting texture looks great. The gold and silver paint is really well done. There's a wash to the silver, so that gives it kind of a dirty look. These appear to be like the throwing discs. They're not removable, but this does look like the standard kind of Predator throwing discs that open up. The standard, and I say that in a good way, but like the standard NECA paint job on the legs where you've got the two tones and the spotting that's become kind of a standard for the Predator design. Looks good skin-wise. Again, good separation of gold and silver and gray on the legs. You get more of that spotting on the feet. The claws look good, or the toenails, whatever you want to consider them, but you see that spotting on the arms, on the hands. Very two-tone here. We got the kind of reddish-orange and then the yellow. But I dig all the spotting. But what I really dig is this helmet. A little weird at first, but I really like the designs to it. But I think they've done a good job with the details on it in toy form, especially the gold paint on his little snout area. There's a little NECA paint right there at the top there. Not too bad. We got the black eyes. We don't have any glowy eyes on this one. But the little details of gold within that little sculpted section there. Same thing with the little sections that are black. His hair does kind of fade out to gray little areas. The little skin section on top looks good. And I really dig the shoulders. The shoulders are also a little soft here at the edges, but the little rubber part is a pretty hard rubber there. This one's got some nicks and dents into it. And then we've got the laser here, which no big backpack on this one. No big thingy. It's just a simple little, simple to the point, good design to it. I dig it. Now, the arm sections, which also, again, as usual for NECA, has really, really good details in the sculpt and paint, but we can also plug in the little claw thingy majigs, because this comes with 4 total two for each arm. Very Shredder looking. And if I'm not mistaken in the trailer, I don't know if it's these or a separate thing, but it looks like they like fire out. So that's pretty cool that if they're meant to be removable, I like that you can remove them and, you know, pretend to fire them or whatever. I found the articulation on this to be pretty good as far as, you know, flexibility and, you know, whether or not any of the joints are really stiff. You know, some of the elbow joints require a little give at first, but nothing was too restrictive. Although one little thing is the shoulder-mounted little laser. It can pivot at the top, but the base of it does not pivot. So if you want to turn the head to the right, you can't swizzle it out of the way. I mean, you can hinge it back, but that's about it. But still, it looks pretty good. Yeah, but like I said, the knee joints, the upper leg joints, all the ball joints, all works pretty well. God, I think this figure looks really, really good. I'm used to the standard kind of NECA articulation points, and this one didn't disappoint. Nothing's really stiff. Even the ones that feel kind of stiff, you just give it a good little push and it moves really well. So let's switch out the arms and show you the alternate head. Now, I just spent all that time talking about how not tight the joints were, but putting this head on took a lot of pressure and elbow grease. Same thing with the arms. The arms and head came off really easily, but putting these other arms on took a lot of pressure. But this head looks good. I mean, it looks like a Predator head. There's nothing terribly new about this design. It looks like a standard Predator head. There's no fun new element or scarring, just a different kind of color scheme. You can see the spotting on the head looks pretty good, just not just the black dots, but also the mix with like darker red dots and the way they fade as they go further down the head. Dark eyes, green eyeballs, open mouth, which is nice. That's in such a big open snarl. That the mandible and teeth paint look really, really good. The pink inside of his mouth looks good. I just wish the yellowish skin kind of faded to a more natural red that matched the rest of the head, because you could tell that this is the bottom mouthpiece that connects to the headpiece. But aside from that fading, I like the wrinkling of the skin around the mandible area. Yeah, I like the evil eyebrows, so that looks good. And then here's just a closer look at the arms, just so you can see, you know, the spotting there and the fade from red to yellow. Open hands look really, really good on this, though. I really dig his big jazz hands. Jazz hands! Wow. Putting this head back on was super easy. Same thing with the arms. These suckers just popped right back on with no problem. I love the way this figure looks, guys. I'm really, really easy to please when it comes to Predators because I like the design so much. But this is great. The articulation is what I've come to expect from NECA, which I think is excellent. If you're familiar with their previous Predator figures, in fact, over the years, they've gotten more and more creative with their joints. If you followed it, you know, from like 5 years ago, and just what they've been able to do since then with, you know, points of articulation. Also, fun fact: these little thigh sections here, the armor is held on with these straps. I thought the straps originally were sculpted on, and I'm like, that's a good sculpt, but they are separate little strap pieces, so that's pretty cool that they actually are separate elements with their own good texture. Great design, really, really good paint job, articulation's great. It's a Predator figure, so that's awesome. I like this. And it's a good bang for your buck. It retails for about $25 to $27.99. I like that NECA has been kind of doing the ultimate template now for everything. It used to be like, we're going to do the ultimate version of figures that have already come out, so you already have these figures, or we've already made them. But now they will just make one Predator figure in the ultimate packaging with 2 heads and 2 sets of arms and not 2 different figures. So paying $25, $26 to like $28 for one complete figure with all these accessories, I really dig it. I'll have a link for Entertainment Earth down below. But yeah, very satisfied by this. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff.